Thank God for friends. Um, so, so a couple years ago, I decided to shift into another career. Like I said, become that strengths coach so I can share that with others, and because it made such an impact for me. I also got certified in what's called High Performing Teams. It's a company out of Slovenia, very exclusive. There's only about 80 to 100 of us in the globe that are certified with this company so that I can bring even more programs to my clients. And these are just some of the achievements, but this is what I'm most proud of today. Oops, lost my, okay, not my tech skills. Why is this not sliding now? There we go. This is what I am most proud of, this title of wife, mom, and grandma. And some of you may have heard me say this before. One of my famous quotes is, you can't have success without sacrifice, but you can have success without sacrificing the ones you love. And that is something I am most proud of, because I've been able to build a successful business around my family, not in despite of my family. And again, that's what I always hope for my clients as well. This is something else I'm very proud of. It's what I call, this is my career, because I'm not going to share with you that it was always great for me. We started off really strong. When I became a leader within our company, I came out really strong the first 2 years, and we hit some big goals. But then life happened. My husband was in the military, 9/11, he got deployments. My mother had terminal cancer. That hit me hard. When she passed away, I had teenagers, 3 boys, 3 teenagers. So this was the dip years, the desert years, I called them. And then we slowly climbed out of that. And then we had what I call the comeback years. These are honestly my favorite years, because these were the years that I started getting that belief again. I had to enhance my skills again. I had to build that confidence back up again. And we finished way up here on top. So I would love to know, I've been looking at the chat here. I would love to know in the chat, where are you today? Are you just getting started and you're feeling like, I got this, this is going really well, better than I can imagine? Are you down here in the desert years, the low years? Are you in comeback year? Or are you feeling like you are on top? You are at the pinnacle of your career right now. So share in the chat. So you see Kat says, I'm headed to the comeback years, comeback years. Yes, I love the comeback years. Danny Goki has a great song about the comeback. It's like my mantra song in those years. On way up, love it, love it. Solid increase, yay, Chris. Yeah, good. So it doesn't matter where you are. I've been there. Like I have been there. You can see that I have been there. So let's start talking about our skill set. What do you think are the 5 MVPs that any sales professional needs to know when you think about the skills, the sales process? So I'm talking about like getting names, closing the sale, doing the presentation. Like, what would you say are the 5 MVPs that any sales professional needs to have? And you're going to see these are the same. I mean, we have people on here that are in the direct sales field. Some people sell skincare, some people sell oils. Chris sells fire trucks. I know some real estate people are hopping on. I know people in insurance. So, I like that. Solid first impression. Yeah. So share what you think are the 5 MVPs. Oh, self-talk. That's a good one, Kat. Service-minded, yes. So these are what I consider, and some of what you guys all shared, which thank you for sharing in there. These are what I look at are the 5 MVPs. Any professional salesperson, no matter what you are selling, what you are offering, what your service is, there's 5 main things that we need to have our skill set in. Number 1, lead generation. How are you expanding your network? We need that constant flow of new names coming in. How are you scheduling conversations? How do you move that person from being a lead and a name on a list into an actual sales presentation? What does that look like? What does that transition look like for you? How do you do the actual sales presentation? You need to know, what does that look like, right? And of course, we need to know how to close the sale, because you can do all of the above, but if you don't have a strong close, you don't have a strong finish, you don't have a strong offer, it's worthless to do the rest. And then customer service. How do you build the relationship after the sale so that you can have continued business with that client, or if it's a one and done type service, referrals from them? How do you keep that relationship tight? Those are the skills that every sales professional needs to know. So we're going to play a little game here. No judgment, no judgment at all. This is the yes, no kind of game. And I'm going to go back through those five MVPs. And when I do, I want you to put in the chat. And again, we're not judging here. This is the no judgment zone. I want you to share in the chat. How do you feel about your skill set with each of those 5? So it's either a yes with a like, yes, I know I got that really well, like a yes with an exclamation point, a no, because you're being honest, that like, I'm really rusty in that area, not good, I know I need to improve, or kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of good, like I know I could get a lot better, but I'm not the worst, better than I used to be, so kinda. So yes, no, kinda. So we're going to start with lead generation. How are you with lead generation? Yes, you're an expert at that, kinda, or no? So where are you with lead generation? Got a lot of kindas, kinda. Oh, yes, absolutely. I love that one. So yes, no, kinda. Yes, so many. Awesome. All right. So how about scheduling? How about scheduling the appointment, moving that name to setting the appointment? So not actually holding it, but just moving them into that, like, hey, we've chatted, now you're actually going to call and set a date to get together. So yes, no, kinda. Oh, a lot of kindas, a lot of kindas. That's good. That's my issue. Yeah. All right. Honest answer. Honest answer. Love that, Chris. All right. A lot of kindness in that one. So make note of that. Okay, let's move to the sales presentation. How are you at when you're actually in front of that client and you are sharing all about your products? So this is our third one. Are you like, I know I do a great appointment. Like everybody loves to be in my space. Or no, like, oh, I get so nervous still. I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable. Or kinda like, I don't do bad. Oh, we got a lot of yeses there. A lot of yeses. Okay. Love it. All right. How about closing the sale? This is where it comes to asking for the purchase. How are you at asking for the purchase? Offering, your specials, offering what they need to purchase, giving advice, helping them make that exchange of money. Or kinda, okay. All right, got some yeses, some kindas. Love, we don't have many no's. You guys are the elite salespeople on this call. And then the last one, customer service. How are you at keeping that relationship going after the sale? How are you at building those relationships? Meaning, do you get a lot of referrals from clients? Do you have ongoing business with them? What does that look like for you? Yes, no, kinda. A sip of tea. Oh, systems for that. Yep. All right. So I want you to just make note of that. Make mental note of where you put kinda, where you put no. Those are the skills that you want to kind of work on. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit when we get into the strengths part. And those that are where you're yes, what if you got even better? What if you could go next level with that yes? What would that look like for your business? So I want you to keep those in mind. So kind of jot down on a piece of paper, what area between lead generation, scheduling the conversations, sales presentation, closing the sale, and customer service, what areas or what one area, if you had to pick one, so write down the areas that you would like to improve, but then circle the one that would be like, okay, if I got really better at this, that would change everything. And feel free to share in the chat, what would be that one? If you could improve on one area, say if you just worked at it over the next 3 months and you went up, let's just say you got 5% better at that one skill. Which one would that be? Scheduling. That's the biggie. That's the missing link, isn't it? For a lot of people. So closing, yep. All right. A lot of scheduling, some closing. So keep that in mind. All right. Here's what happens for a lot of us. Why maybe we don't have that confidence in those skill sets is because a lot of times we are maybe handed a sales manual. Maybe we don't even get a sales manual. Maybe the sales manual is way outdated. Maybe the mentor, you had a mentor that taught you how to do this, all those processes, but they gave it to you through their lens. Maybe you work for a company like the, I love the Dilbert comic here, the squishing the new ideas. They don't want any new ideas because this is the way we've always done it. We're not going to change it. This is the process. And it doesn't work for you. Has anybody felt that way? Like, I get it. Like, this is what I need to do, but it doesn't work for me. And maybe you doubt your own ability. That's where we go first, right? We always think like, what's wrong with me? Anybody ever have that thought? What's wrong with me? Why doesn't this work for me? They said it would work. You see other people succeeding. Or maybe you felt frustrated with the person that keeps telling you just got to do it this way when there's a better way out there. Anybody ever felt that way? I felt like that a lot. And I'm going to share a story with you. So some of you that have been in my space for a while know Trisha. And this was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. So this story. And Trisha was she was the top consultant I was ever privileged to coach and mentor in my group. And we butted heads a lot, but we had pure love, pure respect for each other. She also happened to be my husband's cousin. Chris, I know, is a firefighter. I don't know if you remember Tom's Uncle Mike. Trisha was Uncle Mike's daughter. And so Trisha was a very creative person, very creative. She was also very stubborn, and so am I. And she had a lot of ideas of her own on how she should and could and wanted to work her business. And at that time in my leadership, I was in a place of, but this is the way we do it. I was that boss, like in the Dilbert comic of, but Trisha, you got to stay in the box. I didn't say that to her, but I tried to keep her in the box. And I didn't encourage her to be her creative self. I didn't encourage her to think of new ways to do things. Now, she did some of them anyway, because she was stubborn and smarter than I probably at that point. But I think back now because I didn't know when she was in my unit, and she is actually a few months after this picture was posted. Trisha did pass away. She had terminal cancer. So sadly, she did pass away after this, but she was number 13 in our entire organization's court of sales. So out of thousands and thousands and thousands of consultants, she ranked number 13. And we were celebrating that in this picture. And I was so proud of her. But I think back now of if I knew then what I know today about talents and strengths and working within your own talents and strengths, and not necessarily having to be put into a box of the process, I wonder what she would have achieved if I had encouraged that in her versus trying to keep her stuffed in the box. Now, like I said, thank God Trisha was willing to kind of color outside the lines despite what I said. So she did have a lot of success, but I always wonder, like, what would have happened if I said, looked at that differently back then, but I didn't know that. I knew nothing about Clifton strengths. I knew nothing about working in your strengths. So I just feel like that was one of the worst mistakes I ever made, was not letting her color outside the lines, not lifting the lid off of that box and saying, Trisha, figure out your own way within the values, the morals, there are some things that have to be followed in any organization. I'm not saying go way outside, but to just have that freedom. And maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you've done that to people, or maybe you feel like Trisha did, probably. And you have a leader or a boss or somebody right now that's keeping you in a box and you're ready to be set free. So again, love to know in the chat, can you relate more to my experience or maybe more to Trisha's experience? So this is where your edge starts. This is where now we're going to start combining, looking at the sales piece, the skill set of those 5 MVPs we talked about, and now bringing in the most important piece, and that's knowing your talents and strengths. And I look at that as the vessel. Like, that is, when you think back to the sailboat analogy, the sailboat story I shared with you, every sailboat operates differently. Every sailboat relates to the wind in a different way. They respond to the wind in a different way. And you have to know your boat. You are the boat. You have to know how you respond to different actions, reactions, what your natural talents and strengths are. And that's where the Clifton strengths comes in. Now, I know for some of you, you are very familiar with Clifton strengths and the assessment. And some of you are brand new to this. This is like, what are you even talking about, Sherry? So again, just share in the chat. Let me know if you're familiar with Clifton strengths and you know your top 5, drop them in the chat. If you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, put that in the chat too. So for those of you that are saying, I have no idea what you're talking about, Sherry. So Clifton Strengths is owned by Gallup, and it is an assessment that helps you discover what your natural talent DNA is. It's what you were born with. They were strengths that, God put inside of you when you were born, when he created you. And what happens though is we don't recognize them, especially as an adult. We normally don't recognize what our natural talents are. Now, we may know that we do some things better or worse than somebody else, or a lot of times what happens is we do something so easily, we look at other people and think, why can't they do this? I don't understand. Why can't they do this as easy as I? So the whole Clifton Strengths 34 helps you tap into your natural talents and strengths. So I see a lot of you putting them in here. Oh, we got a lot of futuristic people. Yay, futuristic. That's my number 1 as well. Love it. Okay. Gallup just came out with the new Clifton Strengths for Sales report. It is in addition to the report you get when you take the assessment. So you don't have to take the assessment all over again. You just go in and unlock it. You pay, of course, and then unlock it, and it will give you the report. And that's what we're going to spend a little bit of time here. Where are we at the time? Probably the next 10, 15 minutes, really diving into this report, and then how it comes back to the skills, how you can use this report to enhance those skills. Now, before we do, I do want to read. This is actually my report. And this is something I do, just a little extra bonus thing here is I usually print out my reports and then either have them bound by the print shop, or I just buy the cheap little, report cover things that you used to get in school where you slide this thing on, just so I have it to refer to all the time. So print it out, because I look at my reports over and over and over again. I highlight them, I make notes in them, and I do that all the time. So I recommend that with my, with coaching clients that I have. It's like, make notes in it. Your regular report should be totally marked up all the time. But I want to read you this inside here. On page 2 of the report, it says, use them. So on the top, it has your breakthrough to sales excellence starts here. You can see it in the picture there. But I love what this says. It says, a singular comprehensive solution doesn't exist in sales. What you need to win in your role is already inside of you. Your specific talents, along with how you use them, is what gives you an edge over your competitors. And regardless of your experience in sales or past successes or failures, using your strengths is the path to creating sustainable sales excellence moving forward. And again, think back to that place on the sailboat where you're just moving in, you've got your edge, you're steadily moving along. This is the key to get there, combined with knowing the skills. So if you want to write this down, confidence plus skills plus strengths equals your edge. So confidence plus skills plus strengths equals your edge. Now, you might think it's skills plus confidence plus strengths, or strengths plus skills plus confidence. The math all works no matter what order they're in. So it doesn't matter what order. But those are the 3 elements that give you your edge. Okay, where's my data people? Who loves stats and data? This is for you. So on average, for salespeople who receive strengths coaching, they get 11% higher volume and 6% higher closing percentage. Think about that for just a second. If you had 6% higher closing percentage, what would that do for your business? Now, sometimes we look at 6% when people are talking about 10x your business. It doesn't seem like much, but 6% can be the difference between a bonus and not getting a bonus. It can be the difference of hitting a goal and not hitting a goal. So 6% adds up. For organizations practicing strengths-based development, they have a 10 to 19% increase in sales. So think about your whole organization increasing by 10 to 19%. What would that do for your organization, your bonuses, your profits? And employees who use their strengths at work are 6 times as likely to say they get to do what they do best every day. Now, in a world where employee engagement is at its high or all-time lowest, I should say, and people are job surfing all the time, you want team members to say, I get to do my best every day, because when they can say that, they're not on all the job search places looking for a new job. They're going to stay where they are because they are excited, they love what they do, and they're engaged. So let's take a deep look at the Clifton Strengths for Sales report. So when you get the report, what you will receive is your top 10. Now, this report, if you are familiar, it looks like a lot of you are familiar with the Clifton Strengths 34, like your insight report is very customized to you. Nobody else's looks like yours. This is not customized. Yeah, I love that. Engaged team members make everyone happier and life more fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it gives you your top 10. And Gallup did not like customize this to each person because their goal is they actually want to get it more global. So they're working more on, let's get in a lot of different languages instead of worrying about getting it very customized. So for those of us with futuristic number 1, all of our futuristic looks the same. Versus if you looked at your insight report, futuristic, it would all look different for each of us because it's based on your other strengths. So for this report, it's basically, I hate to say it, but it's the generic version. Now that always sounds so bad, but the generic version is not bad. It's just that it all looks the same for all of us. I don't know if there's a better way to say that. If somebody's got a better way to say that, put it in the chat. So you get your top 10. It does give you a customized view of all 10. Now it's customized again based on the theme, not on your specific one. So strategic, everybody was strategic, it all looks the same. Standardization for global impact. Thank you, Kat. Love that. So in your report, you're going to get how this theme contributes to your success. What gets in the way of your success because of this theme? These are your blind spots. These are the things to look out for. These are the things that can stop you. I love this. Now, we don't normally want to focus on what we call weaknesses, but this could be the link. This could be what's getting in your way. So we need to be aware of that. You need to know what to remove. And it's just like when we were out sailing on a lake, we need to know where are the danger buoys because we don't want to go there. Because if we go in where the danger buoys are, we could get stuck in there. We could ruin our boat in there. So you don't want to go where the danger buoys are. And this helps you see in black and white what your danger buoys might be based on each theme. So all 10 of them, you're going to get this page. And then you get this, your action step. So it gives you how to have your edge based on that theme, how to apply that theme as a salesperson. So specifically for people in sales, it gives you these action steps. And then down here, I love this. It gives you reflection questions for each theme. So like for this is my strategic, my number 5 theme. It says, what are your best customers' challenges that your critical thinking could resolve? And then what step in your sales process could you revise to increase your win rate? So a lot of us may want to take that question, right? And look at it. We talked about that. So it's meant to be a place to reflect on, to make some notes on. And as you read this, and if I also encourage you, if you're not really super knowledgeable about each strengths, go back and review it first. And actually in one of the packages, if you choose to continue to work with me this summer, one of the packages, we dive really deep in knowledge in each of the talent themes. So you can really become an expert at yourself. That's what you're studying with Clifton Strengths. You're studying yourself. You become an expert in you. And I'll be hosting some actual hands-on workshops this summer. It's another way to continue working with me, where we're actually going to go through these sheets together, because I don't know about you, and I don't know, share in the chat. I am one of these people that I love my quiet time to think and process, but then I'm better when I can discuss those things in person. So who else needs that? Who else needs that? Like, okay, I need to talk. I say I'm thinking out loud and I just think out loud. So are you a think out loud person that you need to process out loud? Or do you prefer to do all your planning and quiet time by your solo? So just share that in the chat. Because during the workshop, we're going to look at those skills, those 5 skills, and then we're going to look at your themes. You're going to take your each theme, and we'll create a process together so that by the end of the workshop time, you will have an action plan. Now, you may not have an action plan in our time together for all 5 of those steps based on all 10 themes, but you're going to have some sort of action plan that's going to move you closer to your ultimate goal. And I will be sharing more about those workshops in a minute. This is the beautiful page. So this is the last page of the report, is this one right here, this accomplish your goals page. And I love this page. I love this strengths wheel because this shows you, with Clifton Strengths, a lot of times customers or clients think that, oh, that's my number 1 theme, I'm always going to use that first. Or, that's my number 2, that's my number 3, and that we use them in those orders. And that's not really the way it goes. There are times you may need your number 10 theme in order to accomplish the goal. So I'm low on executing, like executing does not show up for me until number 10 with focus. So when I really need to get something done, like putting this presentation together, I had to lean heavily into focus, my focus theme. And I had to let my futuristic, I didn't let it play. Futuristic, you can't join in this conversation today, because if I lean on my futuristic, I'm in la la land. I'm in thinking like, ooh, what's going to happen 5 years from now? What's going to happen 10 years from now? And so if I stayed in that mode, this presentation would have never got done. So I had to really lean in on focus, my number 10 theme, to get things done. Oh, Kat, you're number 15. Yeah. So, yeah, so just knowing that is good, that awareness, right? Yeah, out loud, a lot of out loud. Yeah, that is that futuristic, right? We like to, think of those things, but then let's talk about it. Let's process it, because here's the thing, when you could talk about things, you may say something that triggers another thought for me that then triggers another thought for somebody else. So we end up with better thinking. It's like a think tank, a brainstorming think tank. So going back to the wheel, I love the wheel because it really shows that it's like little pieces of the pie. And one day you may need these pieces to achieve this goal. Another day you're going to rely on other pieces to achieve the same, to achieve a different goal. So it's important to really know that. And what during the workshop we would be doing, or if you don't choose to do the workshop, you can do this on your own. What I would suggest doing is go back to that, that skill set. What area were you weakest in? And for a lot of you, it was scheduling conversations. So you plop scheduling conversations right in the center of that wheel. And you think, this is the goal I need to work on. And then you look at your 10 themes and you think, how can I pull from, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, usually it's not more than 4 talents that I have to really get better at scheduling conversations. So let's just say, for instance, that was what I wanted to work on. So I might looking at my themes here, I have futuristic, maximizer, self-assurance, command, strategic, individualization, activator, relator, learner, focus. So I don't know, share in the chat. I'm curious, what themes, if you were looking at my top 10, just because they're here, what themes would you pull from to get better at scheduling conversations if you were coaching me? I love strategic. Yeah. Strategic can never steer you wrong. I love having strategic. I lean on that a lot. Focus activator. Yeah. Relator, definitely. That was what I was thinking, like relator, because relator builds that deeper relationship, getting to know somebody else, individualization for sure. Really customize, what does this person need in order to schedule an appointment for me, with me? Strategic, just what's the plan? Sometimes command and self-assurance need to play in there because they give me the confidence to just do it. So you can see how there's no right or wrong answer. Like they could each work. It's just figuring out which one's going to work best for you. And that's the process you do with yourself. So that's this page right here is the most important thing. And I would consider, as a sales professional, matching it up with the 5 MVPs. Start with that. Now you may say, well, I have a whole nother goal I'm reaching for, so I'm going to do my own thing. That's totally cool. I'm not boxing people in anymore, remember? So you figure that out for you. But if you want to continue the journey with me, that's what we're going to do in the workshop together. Love this quote from Donald Clifton: your weaknesses will never develop, while your strengths will develop infinitely. So we need to be aware of the blind spots, but we don't need to focus on them. Okay, remember this chart from earlier on in my comeback years? I need to show you 2 other things. So this small star, this represents when I first learned about Clifton Strengths. In 2016, I took the assessment. And the only reason I know that is because the date is on my assessment. It gives you the date on there. I don't remember why I took it. I don't remember who told me about it. I mean, I'm an assessment junkie. So probably I heard it in a book. I heard it on, at a workshop, and I took it. Never did anything with it because I didn't have anybody to tell me what to do with that information. I was one of those people that I probably read it, thought, oh, that's interesting. Yep, sounds about like me, and put it away, never to do anything with it. This star, on the other hand, represents when I attended workshops, when I got private coaching, when I attended another workshop. And that made all the difference for me. It wasn't just getting the assessment and thinking it. It was doing something with it, really diving into it, learning about it, studying it, and again, being in community over it. Okay, I'm just going to spend a minute here because I did promise it in the when I did the advertising for this. Should we be worried? Is your business recession proof? And I want you to put in chat, how long have you been in business? How many years have you been in business? And for those of you watching the clock, we're taking it to the home front here. We're heading back to the dock here. Just got a few more things and we will be closing this down shortly. 36. Okay. So if you have been in business longer than 10 years, you have lived through major crises in this country. If you've been in business over 20, you've seen a couple of recessions. If you've been in business over 30, you've been in probably 3 or 4. It has been shown that about every 10 years, we go through a major crisis, major recession, major issue in our country. So this isn't anything new. And I share that because should we be worried? I don't know. I think you need to be prepared, but I don't think you need to freak out. And there's ways, though, to recession-proof your business, your sales. First of all, find that sweet spot so that you do stand out from the crowd. So you have that edge over your competitors. Because what happens in a recession? A lot of people fade away, but the strong stand, they make their claim. They come out stronger than ever. So stand out from the crowd. Second thing is connect with your clients. When they see how you add value to their lives, you don't have to worry about it. They understand and they will make sure, because we all choose to spend our money on different things. That was something my dad always used to say, like, we choose where we want our money to go. And your clients, when they see the value you bring to them, they will choose to still do business with you. Lean into your strengths. I cannot stress that enough. Really lean into them so that you have that confidence and the skills to stay strong. Be willing. You may have to work some more numbers. I mean, truth be told, when sales are lower, we may have to work a little more, work the numbers, be willing to do that if needed. And again, come from a place of service. When your heart's in the right place, your clients will feel it. They will know that you have their best interest at heart. So if you could look at all these things, then you're going to recession-proof your own business. So again, I don't really think we have to be worried. We've lived through this before. So I would love to know in the chat, what was most helpful for you today? My goal is always to inspire, empower, and elevate people. So I would love to know what inspired you, what empowered you, what did you learn? What's your takeaway? What action step are you going to take? What was most helpful for you today? So if you want to connect with me, I do have a report from Gallup on the Selling with Strengths report that I would love to share with you. So you don't have to go searching for it. I can send you the direct link. Thank you. Thank you. That I can use my own strengths, lean on specific strengths. Thank you, Kat. Added value. Yeah, good reminders. So send me, if you want the link, make sure I have your email. So well, I think I do, because you're all registered through the Eventbrite, or if you don't get it, you can send me an email at SherryMiterCo. So SherryMiterCo@gmail.com. You can head to my website too. I also have a podcast. I don't think I mentioned that yet, but Navigating Your Leadership podcast. Love to have you check it out. We are on a summer hiatus, so no new shows are coming out except for a few bonuses. But there's over 200 shows between the Navigating Your Leadership, and then before that, it was called Uncharted Entrepreneurs. So lots of shows to listen to. I'm on LinkedIn and I hang out on Facebook way too much. So I'd love to connect with you over there. So if you want to continue this journey together, so I do have a couple of promotions that I'm offering to you. And yeah, I will make sure everybody gets the link. I see that in the chat. So there's a couple ways to continue the journey together if you want more. Now, I'll be honest, you can go to gallup.com. You can purchase the strengths report yourself and figure it all out on your own if you want to do that. But if you want more of that community, you want to work together. So a couple of options there. The first is team workshops. If you have a team, if you work for a company, my favorite thing to do is go into that company and really speak to that team, to emerge into that team, whether it's in person or on, do a virtual event that's specifically for your team. So a private team workshop. If that's something that interests you, shoot me an email and we can set up a time to chat about that and see, I have high individualization, so I customize everything I do to fit the client. Then I have 3 packages. So our elite package, and let me see, I'm going to stop the screen share here. And I'm going to pull this up. Oops. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not going to pull that up. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay. So if you want to head to my website, you can actually pull up the sheet. So there is on the services page, if you scroll down, you are going to see right at the top, sort of the top middle, and you can click there and see the packages that I'm going to be talking about. But basically there's 3 levels, and the 3 levels, let me see if this works. Did that work? Can you guys see this page, the new page? Okay, so the elite package, this is for that person that you've got some big goals, like you've got huge goals you want to achieve over the next 6 months. You take your business very seriously. You really want to enhance your skills. You really want to dive deep into what all 34 of the talent themes are, especially your top 10 and maybe your bottom 5. And you want to get into that workshop that I mentioned. This is the elite package, and it includes 8 weeks of digital coaching through that high performing teams, Eat to Grow, the Slovenia people. They have a really cool app, and it's called Talents to Strengths. We're going to use that app. So you'll have digital coaching through me and through the app, where you can take a deep dive into your top 10 themes to really get to know them. Let me grab a sip of water here. Then you will also get 4 hours of private coaching with me. Because if you're like me, you have a lot of, like, group is great, but then I have questions, that I want to answer just for myself. So it's 4 hours of private coaching that can be done July, August through September, and a lot more advanced strengths tools and training that comes along with that. I do have a bonus right now for anybody that signs up. These are limited. So the elite package is limited to 5 people. I only have 5 spots because we have a lot of summer plans too. So I'm only taking on 5 clients at this level. So the bonus is for the first 5 and or until July 1st, you get additional 3 coaching sessions and 6 months of a mastermind. So in September, we will be kicking off the Navigating Your Leadership and Sales mastermind group. It's a once a month with like-minded individuals. You get 6 months for free is the sign up, is the bonus for now. This one you can split into payments or pay in full. So you can check out all the details on that. So that's the elite package for the serious sales professional with big goals. Then we have our exceptional package. This you will get your Selling with Strengths report, or the Clifton Strengths for Sales report, the official name, the Selling with Strengths group workshops, 1 hour of private coaching. So we can go a little deeper with that. The bonus, you get another session. So really you're going to get 2 one-on-one coaching sessions. You get to try the mastermind for 3 months, and that one's $497. And then we have the professional package. And this is if just like, I just want to get the report and go to the workshop. So then you get the report, you get the workshop, you get to try the mastermind for 1 month, and that's $127. And again, if you're interested in the private workshops, there's a link here that you can send me a message and we can discuss that. So check those out. I do have an extra bonus for you that I wanted to throw in today. And this book does not go with the assessment. It was something that Gallup wrote a while back, but I reread it since I've had the new report, and it complements quite well. It does. So I'm going to throw this in. Anybody that does purchase any of those packages in the next 72 hours, I'm going to add this in as an extra little bonus for you. So that's just a little gift I thought of this morning that I decided, you know what, I'm going to do that. So that's the extra bonus. So take a peek at those if you want to continue the journey with me. And if not, I hope that today added value and you got something out of this that you can take away and really use for yourself. So let me go back to my slides. I think we are done with the slides. So I'm going to close that down and just stay here. So I just want to close up again. As I said earlier, my 3 favorite words are inspire, empower, and elevate. And I hope, and I am going to stay on if you have questions. I'm going to open it up we stay on for Q&A. I have at least another half an hour for anybody that does. But for those of you that have to go, I do hope that this did inspire you with a new thought. I hope that it empowers you to take some action and will elevate you to a higher calling so that you can turn around and inspire, empower, and elevate others. So that is my wish for you today. So thank you for being on here. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for playing along. I do appreciate that. And again, if you have any questions, I can hang out here for a little bit on strengths, on the report, anything like that. And if not, I want to say goodbye to those that have to hop off. So if anybody does have questions, feel free to hop off mute. You can ask them, put them in chat. And if not, we will say goodbye.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, it was great.
Great.
And are you sending the replay of that or no?
Yes. Though
I had to hop out. I had to hop out for a few minutes and then I came back. So.
Yeah. And I actually forgot to hit the record. I was reminded about.
I know I was on when, yeah, I was on when that. And so I saw that part. I did see that part.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I will. I'm going to send out the recording to everybody. Yes. Because there was quite a few that couldn't hop on live at all.
Yeah. Because I'd like to see the slides that I missed, you know, and then I will look over everything and